Welcome to Books in Minutes, the channel where the world's most powerful ideas are turned into life-changing lessons. Today, we explore a book that has transformed the way millions think about money, success, and freedom. Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. This is more than a book about wealth. It's a story about mindset, choices, and the lessons that can define a life. Robert Kiyosaki grew up with two fathers. One was his biological father, highly educated, intelligent, and hardworking. He believed in traditional paths: study hard, get good grades, and secure a stable job. The other, his friend's father, whom he calls his rich dad, had no college degree but understood money in ways the first father never could. He believed in working to learn, not simply to earn. He taught that money should serve its owner, not the other way around. These two figures represented contrasting worldviews. One emphasized security and stability. The other emphasized financial intelligence and opportunity. The lessons from both shaped Kiyosaki's perspective on life, work, and wealth. From a young age, Kiyosaki observed a fundamental difference between the two fathers. His rich dad often said, "The rich don't work for money. Money works for them." While many work tirelessly for salaries, trading hours for cash, the rich understand that financial freedom comes from creating systems where money grows independently. Kiyosaki recalls his first real lesson in this principle when he and his friend Mike were hired to work at the rich dad's store for almost nothing. At first, they were frustrated and angry, but the experience was intentional. Rich Dad explained that fear and frustration are common reactions when people work for money, but those who see opportunities instead of obstacles can harness money as a tool for freedom. Financial literacy is the core lesson Kiyosaki emphasizes. Rich Dad insisted that the most important skill in life is understanding how money works, not just earning it, but managing and multiplying it. He explained the difference between assets and liabilities. Assets, things that put money in your pocket. Liabilities, things that take money out. A family home, for example, is often considered an asset, but if it costs more money than it generates, it is effectively a liability. The wealthy focus on acquiring assets that generate income over time. Rental properties, stocks, businesses, while the middle class and poor often accumulate liabilities while calling them assets. This distinction, though simple, fundamentally alters the approach to wealth and freedom. Rich Dad encouraged building personal financial systems. He often said, "Don't just work for someone else. Build your own business, even if it starts as a side project." Focusing on growing personal assets rather than solely supporting an employer's wealth is the cornerstone of financial independence. Even within a job, applying knowledge to create personal value, investments, intellectual property, or side ventures begins the journey towards freedom. Rich Dad also explained how corporations can be used legally to protect wealth and reduce taxes. Unlike the general populace, the rich learn how to use legal structures to retain more of their earnings. The difference isn't always how much money one earns, it's how effectively money is managed. Corporations, when used wisely, can serve as shields, reducing tax burdens and accelerating wealth growth. Kiyosaki learned that money is not merely earned through labor, it can be created through creativity, intelligence, and opportunity. Economic downturns, market disruptions, and crises are often perceived as threats, yet the wealthy see them as opportunities to acquire undervalued assets or innovate. Rich Dad emphasized that knowledge reduces risk while fear multiplies it. The willingness to learn and observe opens doors where others see walls. Rather than focusing solely on higher paychecks, Kiyosaki was encouraged to take jobs that developed diverse skills: sales, marketing, investing, and leadership. This approach enables a person to think broadly, solve problems creatively, and leverage opportunities that most people overlook. Financial intelligence is not simply knowing how to make money, it is knowing how to manage, grow, and protect it. Even with financial knowledge, obstacles remain. Fear, cynicism, laziness, bad habits, and arrogance prevent many from becoming truly wealthy. Fear keeps people safe, but also poor, as they avoid risk and opportunity. Cynicism convinces them that success is impossible. Rich Dad taught Kiyosaki that asking, "How can I afford this?" instead of "I can't afford this," transforms mindset and creates solutions. Failure is part of the process. The rich learn from it, adapt, and grow stronger. The poor let fear and indecision dictate their lives. Rich Dad outlined practical steps for building wealth. Define a clear reason why. A strong purpose fuels perseverance. Commit to daily learning. Knowledge compounds over time. Pay yourself first. Prioritize investments and asset building over spending. Hire expert guidance. Mentors, accountants, and advisors accelerate growth. Start now. Action outweighs delay. Progress begins with small steps. Taking initiative is the bridge between understanding and freedom. Knowledge alone is insufficient without action. Lifelong learning is essential. Financial education extends beyond school and traditional degrees. Understanding markets, investments, and entrepreneurial principles ensures that one adapts to change and seizes opportunities. While most people stop learning after formal education, the rich invest in their ongoing development. Rich Dad emphasized that learning to make money work for you is a perpetual journey. The more one learns, the more doors open. The less one knows, the more fear dominates. Ultimately, the difference between rich and poor lies in mindset. The poor think, "I can't." The rich ask, "How can I?" Fear, laziness, and complacency hinder progress, while courage, curiosity, and action create freedom. Wealth is not simply a measure of money, it is the ability to live life on one's own terms. Kiyosaki's journey demonstrates that anyone can begin to shift their financial path by learning, applying knowledge, and embracing risk intelligently. The principles of Rich Dad, Poor Dad are timeless. Build assets, not liabilities. Make money work for you. Continually learn, adapt, and grow. Use fear and failure as teachers, not obstacles. This has been a cinematic summary of Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, a guide that has reshaped how millions approach money and freedom. If you found value in this video, like, share, and subscribe to Books in Minutes, where the world's most powerful ideas are turned into life-changing lessons. Remember, financial freedom starts with knowledge, mindset, and the courage to act. Keep learning, keep growing, and let your money work for you.